Many countries are victims of their own inflicted wounds because they abuse their own social contract. In Kenya, national identity is challenged. Every time there is an election, there is a question of national identity. People go back to tribal enclaves. They antagonize other tribes because of lack of a social contract. In countries like Tanzania, which have social contract, elections are held. They could have problems, but they still don't go the way they go in Kenya. I'm today looking at the social contract as the center, the epic center of every organization, every nation. 40 years ago, China did not have a social contract. They went back to the drawing table and had a social contract. They said, we have a population, ballooning population. We need to do something to change the course of our direction. The direction of China was changed after the death of Mao Zedong, who had actually taken a communist strata to the highest level. Today, China has sprung up, has become one of the superpowers with a lot of monetary muscle. It lends to us, Africa. It gives us money for our bridges, our roads, our buildings, our stadiums, our hospitals. It gives us a direction, a hope that a country can go back and retain a social structure. Kenya, therefore, does not have a social structure. It has a social structure on paper, but not a social structure in practice. What can we do to have a social contract? A social contract is very important between the people and the government. The people in Kenya mutilate their own government. The people in Kenya eat their own president. The people in Kenya insult their own president. The people in Kenya belittle their own president. The people in Kenya don't tell the truth about what the government has done. But the people in Kenya expect the government to deliver some of the things, even those that they have delivered, they don't mention them. Therefore, it is time, and it's high time that Kenya looked at what ails it. Is it the social contract, the lack of it, implementation of the social contract, of national unity? The question of national unity is very, very important. It is part of the tenets of social contract. Has Kenya risen to that level where national unity surpasses every type of agenda one would have? I think we haven't. And I think the time has come now, and it is now, that the social contract in Kenya comes in first to avoid the pitfalls that we have today in our elections. If we had a good social contract, people would not shift from one party to the other. People should not fix agreements. People should not talk about a memorandum that was written in darkness. People would not think of the memorandum broken down, but they would think of honesty, courage, determination, and above all, character. A social contract does not come without character. How many people in Kenya can resign once named out of something that a train has crashed, a plane has crashed, a plane left passengers of Kenya Airways, the Minister of Transport, resigns. A train collided with another train. The minister in charge of transport goes away. How many people in Kenya are charged with corporate manslaughter? We have buildings collapsing. The owners are left free. Yet when they were building it, they knew that it would collapse. Do we really have a social contract in Kenya? It is on paper. What else can sum up all this? The elections that we have. Today, why we have the problems, the biggest problem of even selecting a running mate is because we don't have a social contract. If we had a social contract, each candidate would know who would be the best person to choose from and where to choose from. It would not be the question of regions. It would not be, if we will not choose from here, then here will not vote for. It will not be that once I'm from the north, I cannot serve those from the south. That is the social contract. It will not be that once you are Raila, you are not liked. You cannot be sold in a certain part of the country. It will not be that I have got to go home first and get my troops ready, then come out to fight. Everybody in Kenya would be fighting on the same platform. And that platform is the social contract. The earlier we get the social contract, the earlier we get it, the better for us, for the people of East Africa and Africa at large. Most African countries, very few, have secured a social contract. Namely, South Africa, Tanzania to some extent, Ghana to some extent, Egypt to some extent, Algeria to some extent, Tunisia to some extent, Morocco, yes, they have a social contract. In most of those countries mentioned, you can move and remove a government and there will be nothing. They will come and say you have to go. Not very many African countries have social contracts. Kenya has a social contract on paper, but this social contract collapses every time there is an election. Election becomes the powder keg in the gun that brings conflict. Thank you.